I know you heard me on the radio. Flexing, she loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio. Flexing, she loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. Phin Addict Fury, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition, welcome to another episode on this Victory Sunday. I'm your host, Larry K, coming to you live from Newark, New Jersey, where, by the way, just 20 minutes down the road, I was a part of our victory over there against the New York Jets. I gotta say, number one, props to Dolphins NYC. Shout out to Dolphins NYC. Props to Dolphins NYC. I saw you guys posting the bus over there. I could say looking out over Jets, Metlife Stadium, it looked to me like the fans were about half and half. Half Jets fans, half Dolphins fans. You could see the aqua and orange out there. And it was a thing of beauty. There were a lot of us out there. And it was a great time. It was a great time to enjoy the Miami Dolphins victory. I had this greasy jersey. I did my little pregame show. Some people were saying, hey, Larry, I hope you bring us good luck. Hopefully I did bring us good luck. I don't know if I'm part of it, but I know that we won. I know that we are now one step closer to getting to 500. I know it's a long shot. I don't know what it means overall for the, trajectory or the ultimate outcome of the season, but I know that it's a good thing. And I know that we're one step closer to getting there, and that's great. Now, I got to give some props to the New York Jets organization. I know it's like almost blasphemous to do that as a Dolphins fan, but I got to give some props to the New York Jets organization. They really provided for a good game day experience. I mean, I had a blast over there. Everything was smooth from, the parking to getting there. I had a good tailgate. I had some, salami, some mozzarella. I had it, on a skewer, some artichoke hearts. We had burgers. We had cheese. We had Italian sausage. It was a great tailgate. It was a beautiful, by the way, beautiful fall day, just like right in that lower 50-degree space with no wind, just crisp enough that it's an enjoyable afternoon, not hot at all, but not cold, not too much wind in your face, not, shaking, no cold toes, no cold fingers, just a perfect Sunday fall afternoon for a pro football game. It was so enjoyable to be out there. Again, the New York Jets organization provided for a great atmosphere. My section, again, giving props to all the Dolphins fans that were there, my section was almost, my whole row was almost all Miami Dolphins fans. But, in front of me and behind me and around me, there were a lot of Jets fans. And I got to be honest with you, there were a lot of cool Jets fans there. We were kind of going back and forth, talking a little trash, but mostly just kind of being objective and talking football and kind of just, being real with each other and just kind of teasing each other and having a really, really good time. And it was a blast, and I really am blessed to have been there, and it was great to see the Finns win. I'm on a long streak. I think I haven't been to, knock on wood, I haven't been to a Dolphins game at Metlife Stadium against the Jets for some time and seen the Dolphins actually lose. They consistently keep winning, which is a great thing as well, and it was great. So look, first thing I want to touch on is just, the offensive play calling. I don't know if it was Godsey calling these plays. I don't know if they changed something. I don't know if it was just the game plan. And I'm not saying that the entire game was great, because it wasn't, right? As usual, we usually see with the Miami Dolphins offense, and as we've seen time and time again with Tua Tagovailoa in there at quarterback, it seemed that the first drive, scripted drive, the game plan drive looked really good, and then we kind of sputtered a little bit directly after that. The first drive, you see Tua make a real nice throw to Mike Gesicki. You see a couple other really nice throws, and then you see that innovative call where Jalen Waddle's able to take the ball around the end into the end zone and set the tone early. Unfortunately, like we usually complain about when we're not winning, it's usually because we're not playing great complementary football. And unfortunately, the defense allowed the Jets to come back down after that and to score. That wasn't great. But if you look at the offense and you look at the way that the offense was running throughout most of the day, especially in crunch time, especially towards the end of the game, especially in the second half where it really counted, you see a lot of innovation with the way the Miami Dolphins offense functioned today. And what do I mean by that, right? Like, we had some interesting little wrinkles in there where some plays Tua's splitting out wide and he's not behind center, and you see somebody like Waddle or somebody like Gaskin taking a direct snap, and then you see them making a decision, and a lot of times those types of plays get almost unfairly categorized as gimmicky plays or as trick plays or as, wrinkles that aren't, in tune with the consistent, regular, main offense. But at the end of the day, when those plays are being called correctly as opposed to incorrectly, right? Like, you can feel it, meaning sometimes in the rhythm of an offensive drive, you'll see the quarterback come out of the game and a running back take a direct snap or something, and you say, what are they doing? You'll feel it. Like, why are they changing that up when everything was going so well and in rhythm? But other times like today, you'll sit there and look and you'll say everything they were doing, even the flea flicker, even the double reverse flea flicker, which didn't get a touchdown, but it got a first down and it got a lot of yards. Even plays like that, even Tua splitting out wide and somebody else taking a direct snap, and even them working a way to get Waddle to run to the outside on a jet sweep. Those type of plays, you never felt today. You never felt today like those plays were out of place or were out of rhythm. You felt like they were right within the rhythm of the offense. And I'd love to see more of that. I don't know if they tweaked who was calling the plays. I don't know if they tweaked their game plan. I don't know if they kind of, were assessing their overarching offensive philosophy and came up with this idea of how to run things. I'm not sure what caused it, but what I can say with confidence is that there was some innovation on offense today, and it paid off. Now, we had some miscues, right? We had Tua Tagovailoa with a bad interception. And this was an interception at a time in the game where it was really an inopportune time, where, momentum was shifted because of this, where it could have changed the outcome of the game. We were up 7-0. We just had a good stop on defense. And Tua throws this knucklehead interception that leads to a Jets touchdown. It wasn't the best of his moments. You know my stance, so it is what it is. But let's face it, even despite that bad mistake, which is still there, it's not like Tua came out and absolutely lit the world on fire despite that mistake, but Tua played good. Tua had a good game today. His stat line looked nice. He found that Hollins on that play, which really kind of changed the tone of the game again in the second half now, where the defenders double-teamed Waddle or Wilson, forget who, but Hollins snuck out wide open. Tua was under pressure. Tua was under duress, but Tua kept his eyes downfield. And when he kept his eyes downfield and he stayed focused and he used the accuracy that we all know he has, he found the open man downfield. He completed it for that touchdown. That really changed the trajectory of the game. He also found Gaskin on that touchdown. That was a huge play as well. He did that. I apologize for the sirens. It's the way things go around here. And like I said, I'm literally only 20 minutes from where the game was today. I'm literally only 20 minutes from Metlife Stadium, and it's just a beautiful thing to be that close to Metlife Stadium and come home with a victory. It's beautiful. But great, just a great showing by the Miami Dolphins offenses in terms of that innovation. Again, they had their sputters, right? They came out great on the first drive, and then they had their sputters throughout the game, and it was really, kind of annoying to watch for a while when they were spinning their wheels and not getting anywhere, and it looked like we were going to have one of those games again where the offense couldn't get going, but the offensive play calling, the play of Tua, the play of other individuals, again, Gesicki comes out once again, and he was home. Gesicki had come home at this time. Gesicki came home, and he balled out again. I mean, he had a lot of real good catches, and once again, he was out there with all that crazy energy, and he was out there showing out, and he was out there bringing the energy, and it was a beautiful thing to see. But the playmakers on offense, the coaches found ways to get the ball in their hands and to scheme ways for them to get out in the open field and make things happen, and then the playmakers were able to execute those things, and that was a huge difference in the game. The last two games, I gave all the credit to the defense. And this game, I'm giving credit to the defense. The defense did their job. They made some really good stops. The defense had that turnover, even though, it's an interception. It's one of the big guys running down the field, and then it's a fumble, and then we barely almost lost it. And even though that didn't lead to any points, defense did their job. They did enough to win the game, but the last two games, I gave all the credit to the defense. I said this was a defensive game. The offense just did enough not to lose. The defense won the game. This particular game, I'm going to go ahead and say that the defense did enough not to lose the game, but the offense came out. The offense showed out. The offense is a big reason why we won this game, and it's nice to be able to say, if you're a Dolphins fan on this Victory Sunday, it's nice to be able to say that the offense stepped up and the offense answered the call, and the offense at the time of the bell, they rang the bell. They did what they had to do. That's a nice thing to be able to say, and the offense did. I don't know what was going on with the play calling. I don't know if it's the same people. I don't know if it's whatever it was. Keep it up. They were in a good rhythm. Now, I know we played the New York Jets. The New York Jets have not been great on defense. The New York Jets have not been great on offense, but it was still a good win. It's a division rival. It's mid-November. It might not mean anything when it's all said and done at the end of the season, but it might mean something because you don't know. Let's get to 500 first. Which, again, guys, we're playing the Jets again. We're playing the Giants. We're playing the Panthers. None of those teams are very good. Now, the Panthers are kind of revamped. They're rejuvenated with Cam Newton coming back. So that changes things a little bit. But we can beat those teams. Make no mistake. And if we beat those teams, who knows what it's going to mean in the grand scheme? Because the Patriots are playing much better. The Bills are struggling now all of a sudden. They're looking like it might be a little bit of vulnerability with the Bills. A little bit of vulnerability with the Bills. So now you're looking at it, and you're like, oh, maybe we can squeak it out. Who knows? Once we get to 500, let's get to 500 first before we talk about it, because I don't want to get ahead of myself. But if we get to 500, who knows what happens after that? Who knows what happens once we get to 500? I don't know. But the game today, by the way, again, like with the atmosphere, some guy comes up to me. He's in a whole Jets outfit, Jetsed out, everything. I'm going to the bathroom, and all I hear from behind me is greasy. And I look, and he's like, that's nice. And I go, yeah, I got to celebrate something. And we haven't had a lot of joy in the last 20 years. And he says, oh, I'm looking for a Mercury Morris jersey. And I said, yeah, you probably find one somewhere, whatever. I see the same guy later. So later, I'm in the little vestibule area going to get another drink or whatever, and I see the same guy. And this guy, again, he has a Jets hat, Jets jersey. He's decked out in Jets stuff. And he comes up to me again. He's telling me this story. He's saying, well, when I was 12, it was 1972. So I guess he's born in 1960, which makes him the same age as my father, pretty much, early 60s. And he says, I became a huge Dolphins fan in 1972 because I didn't care about anything. They were just a good team. And I was a big fan of all of them. Zonka, Kick, and, all of them. And Morris and Buonaconti and all, I was a big fan of them. And, I really want a Mercury Morris jersey. Now, I don't know if he was a Jets fan now because he was just wearing Jets stuff because he was at the game. I don't know if he became a Jets fan over time because of where he lived or where he moved to or whatever. But this guy loved this greasy jersey, and he was another, Dolphins kind of guy. The atmosphere really was just very nice with, the different Jets fans, the Dolphins fans. It was just very nice. And here's the thing. Here's what's kind of fun about it. if you're a Dolphins fan, you're not thrilled because you just want to run away with the game, obviously. You want to just run away with the game. It makes it, it's easy, it's relaxing, it's even more of a fun Sunday. You can just chill out in the last couple quarters and just enjoy it. But look, it was kind of fun that the game was competitive into the end of the game. It's Jets-Dolphins. Neither team's very great this year, but it's Jets-Dolphins. And it's going deep into the, the fourth quarter in the middle of November. It's nice. It's nice to be competitive and have some fun. There were Jets fans in my section who were just kind of going back and forth with me on things. It was fun. It was just a good atmosphere in that way. Let's face it, Joe Flacco. The Jets starting Joe Flacco, that was the right call. Look, Zach Wilson, I don't know if he's going to be a bust or whatever. Maybe it's too early to tell. He's young in his career, but he's had some rough sledding so far in his young NFL career, Zach Wilson. He has not done great. And then you had Mike White come in, and, he had one good game, and all of a sudden, Jets fans are going off the walls that Mike White's, the next coming. He's amazing. Mike White's going to be the guy they had all along. They didn't even know about. He's so much more efficient on offense. Mike White this, Mike White that, blah, 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 blah. Mike White stumbled the last couple weeks, too, and Mike White hasn't done very good. So I thought them bringing in Joe Flacco and Joe Flacco getting the call and Joe Flacco getting the start. I thought Joe Flacco, there was a lot to like about Joe Flacco if you're a Jets fan. We could have, hypothetically, theoretically lost the game because the game was competitive deep into the deep into the second half of the game. And I thought Flacco did some nice things. He kept his eyes down the field. He made some good throws. They had some big plays. At the end of the day, I think we would have brought a lot more pressure and we would have had a lot of a different defensive look if it was one of the younger quarterbacks like a Mike White or a Zach Wilson. But because it was Joe Flacco, we didn't play that same level of pressure defense. But you did see later in the game when it counted, later in the game when it mattered most of all, you did see that we got Flacco for that 1 yard gain or whatever it was. And that was a pivotal drive, right? That was a pivotal drive. That was right when we had gone up. The Jets had the ball back. To that point, it had kind of been a back and forth game where we get ahead, then they tie, we get ahead, then they tie, and you don't know how it's going to end. And we're on the road, and you don't know, and everybody's inconsistent, so you never know what's going to happen. But Flacco, we got him for the 1 yard gain, which was like he scrambled basically to get out of a sack and got 1 yard. And then very next play, we sacked him. And that, again, guys, is complementary football. Again, that's what we're talking about when we talk about complementary football. That's the offense putting a score on the board, getting us ahead, and then the defense playing complementary football, stepping up, getting the sack, getting the tackle for a loss, stifling the Jets' offense, and giving us the ball back so we could do what we had to do, which was go up 2 scores to seal the game. Again, when you're in the stadium, I didn't know if Flores was actually going to go for it on fourth down. Had he actually gone for it on fourth down, I was going to flip a lid. But I guess, when you're at home and the commentators are telling you they're going to try to draw him off sides, I guess it just changes how you feel about it. In the stadium, a lot of us thought he was actually going for it. We were like, what the hell are you doing? But he wasn't. And thank God he didn't. The field goal was good, and we won. By the way, isn't it crazy how in one season so much can change from season to the next? Like last year, Jason Sanders was like, you could set him up from 53 yards every time, and every time you set Jason Sanders up from 53 yards, I'm going to be confident that he's going to make the kick. Whereas this year, he missed that kick at the end of the first half, just doinks off the goalpost. And Sanders has just not been that consistent pretty much all year. It's crazy how, small contributors and small fundamental consistencies or inconsistencies from year to year can entirely shift whether your football team is a winning team or a losing team, or whether they're a playoff contender or not based on their record and based on the standings. Like last year, we had defense that constantly and consistently came up with key turnovers. And last year, we had a kicker who was clutch, maybe the best kicker in their league last year, who hit from anywhere, who was on a streak of made field goals. And that resulted 100% in wins on the stat sheet and wins in the standings that led us to be contenders and led us to having a good record. Whereas this year, you have a kicker who's more inconsistent. You have a defense who's inconsistent, who doesn't consistently come up with those game-changing plays. When they do, we win, but they haven't most of the year. And therefore, we find ourselves behind in the standings. It would have been nice. Now we're looking at a chance to maybe make 500, which would be good. But we don't know what the other teams are going to do. So we don't know if it's going to mean much of anything other than our pride, other than encouragement for next year. But it would have been nice to beat the Jags. It would have been nice to beat the Colts. Really would have, wouldn't it? In hindsight, would have been nice to win some of those games because it would change completely our current standings and our current record, which would make all the difference this year, but you can't go back in time. It's just interesting because you're going to hope that next year, just like this year, we went from having a great defense, opportunistic defense with a lot of veterans to this year losing all those veterans, and this year our kicker is not consistent where last year he was clutch. You hope that the pendulum swings back and next year we get those little intricacies and we plug those little holes and it results in a much different outlook for the season. We hope that. We hope that. Interesting thing today, by the way, the officiating. Like, I don't want to sit here and say the officiating was bad or good or one way or the other, but it was an interesting game. I'll say that much. Like, there was definitely a call early in the game where, I thought we, the Dolphins, clearly committed defensive pass interference on a third down play, and there was no flag. I thought we clearly committed the defensive pass interference, and there was no flag. And the Jets wound up having the punt. But then on the other side, we had like 3 offensive pass interference calls. I'm pretty sure it was 3. And honestly, as a football fan who's watching all the time, to be honest, like, one offensive pass interference is one thing. It's usually for the pick play. Fine. But when there's more than one offensive pass interference call, especially the way the league and the officiating is these days, whenever there's more than one offensive pass interference call, I get a little, like, suspicious or weirded out. Like, why did we have so many offensive pass interference calls? It was kind of weird. The first one, I'm like, okay, they're getting us back for not calling the defensive pass interference. But then they called a bunch of penalties. They called defensive pass interference when the Jets were driving. But then they called that roughing the passer call with Tua, which, again, look, I'm a Dolphins fan, guys. And I said this to the Jets fans when I was in the stands there. I said to them, like, I'll take it. I mean, I'll take it. I'm a Dolphins fan. I'll take the roughing the passer call. It leads to, changing the course of the game. I'll take it. But, these roughing the passer calls, man, I mean, they're getting ticky-tacky, and they are game-changing calls. And so I can't say that the Jets got a lot of calls their way. The Dolphins got calls their way. I can't say that it was biased one way or the other, but I just thought it was interesting to note how interesting these officiating, the officiating can be game to game, how much of an influence these calls could have on a game, how the way one officiating crew is calling a specific game can alter the way that a team plays, or something that a team consistently does with other officiating crews and there's no calls, all of a sudden they're getting called every time. I just thought the officiating in general was interesting. I'm not saying it was biased one way or another at all. I don't think it was, but I think it was just interesting to note the different ways that the calls went. So just another interesting caveat. I thought the offense was in rhythm. I still think we obviously have issues. And again, this was the New York Jets. They've had issues all year. So we're not, celebrating right now. But what we can say is the team seems to have confidence. They certainly haven't given up on Flores. That's all you can ask for because, Ross is not firing him. So it is what it is. And you hope that they haven't given up on him. And they definitely haven't. We've now rattled off some wins. And we look like we have a real chance. We have a real chance to go 500. I'm not saying we are, but we have a chance, a realistic chance. And if we do, who knows what happens. And if we continue this innovative play calling on offense and we continue to play the type of defense we want to play, again, Flacco was an experienced guy. You get some of these more middling guys, you get some of these younger guys, you start turning up that pressure again, you can do real well. And I think, too, remember, one of the Jets' touchdown was on that 4th down play. Now, on 3rd down, Byron Jones had a really nice pass breakup. Beautiful textbook defense on a pass play and had the pass breakup. The very next play, the Jets go for it on 4th down, which I think a lot of people didn't expect, including all of us in the stadium. But they go for it on 4th down. The Jets score. I thought our defense looked a little lackadaisical on that play. Imagine if our defense brought the same intensity on the 4th down play as they did on the 3rd down play. Maybe this whole game is looking more like a blowout and less close than it even is. We've still got to figure out what we're doing in terms of playing consistent defense, consistent offense, and overall playing complementary football. But at least, and at the end of the day, too, you got to figure this out, too. And we'll talk more about it at the end of the season when we kind of know how everything shook out. But Flores has got to get off to better starts. It seems like almost every year now he's off one way or another, and how bad and how long is a different story. But it seems like his teams get off to slow starts, and then they start to play more cohesively, and then they start to play better. Well, that's not going to cut it in this league. You're going to have to bank wins earlier. You don't have to win every game, but you're going to have to bank some wins. Imagine if we had 3 more wins and we were hitting our stride now. I mean, the sky would be the limit. The potential that we'd have would be much, much greater than it is now. He's got to figure out how to get started and heat up earlier. He's got to get cohesive teams earlier. I don't know what that entails. I don't know if that means keeping more guys from year to year, because you can't just have a mass exodus. It's almost like you're rebuilding every year. It's almost like every year you got to start from scratch, and by the time the guys hit their stride, it's halfway through the season. You got to figure something out where you start quicker, so that when we're in mid-November having a fun victory Sunday against the Jets, it means a little more than it means right now. We got to do that. But nonetheless, this is a victory Sunday, and it feels great. Again, beautiful day mid-November against a division opponent. Great day to just be out there watching pro football. Great day to just be a fan of the sport. Great day to just be a part of the Dolphin fan community. I saw nothing but awesome people at the game. Somebody I was with, she had old school hoodie, which had the old school Dolphins logo. And when you pull the hood up, it's almost like a helmet. It's got the stripes down the middle and the 2 old school Fins logos on either side, like it's a helmet. And there's Dolphin fans out there like, yo, that's an awesome sweatshirt, and where'd you get it, and where can I get it, and whatever. The Dolphin family is just a really great community, as you all know, because we spend so much time together on this show. It's just a great community, and it was a great time to be out there today for another victory, another Dolphins victory on another victory Sunday. It was great. Guys, the last thing I'm going to say is we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Now, I know that's not going to happen tomorrow. I know it will eventually happen. I'm confident we're going to get there because we got a good channel. We got a good community. We're going to get to 1,000 subscribers. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen sometime, but not tomorrow. That's fine. But if you enjoyed this content at all, if you enjoy football content, you enjoyed the Dolphins content, you just like to listen to something that sounds pretty decent on a Sunday afternoon or during the week, please, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Please hit the like button below. Please hit the subscribe button. And if you dig it and you have other friends that are Dolphins fans, or you have other friends that are football fans, whatever, take the time. Just click share. Share the link to this video on your Instagram. Share the link to this video on your Facebook. Share the link to this video on your Twitter feed. Let more people know about what we're doing, because once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we can have all these bells and whistles. Our live casts are going to be a little different. We're going to have super chats. There's all these tools and things that we can do once we hit 1,000 subscribers that we can't do now. So we're not in a rush. We're enjoying ourselves. But if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. And please try to let other people know about this channel and let them take a listen. And if they so choose, let them click the subscribe button so we can continue to grow this thing. We've been at like 350 subscribers for a while now. It's been a little stagnant. I want to try to up that again. That was since TD put me on, which, again, much respect, much appreciation to TD for putting me on the way he did. It got a whole bump in subscribers, but we've been plateauing a little, so I want to try to bump this thing up above 400 in the next week. If we can get this thing up above 400 subscribers, it's going to be great next week. We'll have a little celebration on the next show. But remember to subscribe. Remember to tell people about it. Most of all, guys, enjoy your week. Enjoy the victory Sunday. Enjoy the way it feels to get a win against the New York Jets, because we know it's very satisfying. There are a few things more satisfying for a Miami Dolphins fan than getting a win at the New York Jets in mid-November on a beautiful fall day. It's beautiful. Enjoy it. Everybody enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy the football games on Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you before then. Hope you make your special dish. I hope your family's in good health. I hope you have a lot to be thankful for. I think we all have a lot to be thankful for. Just that we can sit here on a Sunday and talk football and enjoy sports and enjoy the nice weather and just chill out. There's nothing better than that. We all have our health. We're all living good lives. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your holiday. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. I will talk to all of you very, very, very soon. This is Larry K. signing off. Have a beautiful week. Later. I know you heard me on the radio.